Smarterfan. Smarterfan. Yeah. Smarterfan.
Hey, is that you, Joe?
That's me.
Man, I didn't know you were going to make it. It's good to have you back from NASCAR land, North Carolina. I said, man, he may go down there and never come back. But he's back. He's back. Smarter Fan family, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're here to have another great show on Smarter Fan Podcast. We're getting ready. Hey, the family's growing. I'm getting more feedback and people tuning in and enjoying the programming. So Smarter Fan is growing. Share, like, do all that good stuff because you're going to hear things here that you've never heard anywhere else. And that's why we're called Smarter Fan. So glad to have you back. Looking forward to all the stories you got to share. And let's kick in. Well, last show, I mentioned my guy. Yes, number 22. Yes, from Florida. Yes, in the NBA. Goes by the name of Jimmy Butler. Baller extraordinaire. And what I love about Jimmy Butler, I had a conversation with somebody and they were like, they were kind of poo-pooing on Jimmy Butler. I said, do you understand the two other teams that didn't think he was a fit? Their coaches are gone and they haven't made the playoffs. And one of those teams didn't make it through the playoffs. You think they're rethinking that decision of letting go of Jimmy Butler? I guarantee you they are. Right?
I think he found a home in Miami.
Oh, he's got a home. He's got a home, and he's got a home for a good reason. He's got a GM upstairs, Mr. Laker himself, Pat Riley, who's all about winning.
Yes, he is.
Understanding grit and what it takes to win. And he's got a NBA level, quality coach in Spoelstra, who knows what he's doing and making it happen. And
he's
so
one
that's
of the, Go ahead.
No,
he's one of the few coaches that LeBron would listen to.
Well, I think the secret sauce is the ability to communicate effectively. So many coaches lose out because they try to make athletes fit their system and don't step back long enough to say, what is this kid's strength or young man's strength? How can we make that work within our system and get my ego out of the way? I mean, think about Pat Riley. He looks to one side of him and sees Magic Johnson. He looks to the other side of him and sees Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But his ego never got in the way.
Right?
Because he understood his role. Right?
Yeah.
It was about winning championships and taking the pieces I got. I mean, the Lakers at that time literally had 2 starting fives, plus. Any of those guys who were sitting on the bench could start on any other team. You know what I mean? So you're talking about managing gigantic egos. Right? But keeping the first thing, which is about winning and being a champion. So I love Jimmy Butler. I tell you, if Abayo or if they get another big, they're going to be a force to reckon with. They may go on a run. They could potentially go on a run, and maybe go back to back, and do that kind of thing. They just need someone else to think about besides Jimmy Butler. I just love that situation. I'm excited for Jimmy Butler. He's just a winner in my book. And again, shows the power of good coaching and what happens when you have good support and create a winning organization. I'm trying to move fast because I want to hear about NASCAR. So I got to talk about my dude, Coach Prime. He's got his new recruits in, 71 left, and he brought in a fresh 50 guys from Clemson, all SEC, Florida boys, all over the ready to ball, ready to play, hungry, JUCO players, guys who are like, yo, this is my second chance. I'm here to make it happen. I mean, these guys literally look physically bigger than the kids that left. It's a little scary. It's a little scary. It's like they're probably out here and get some folk off an NFL roster. I mean, these young men are unbelievable.
A lot of these guys are NFL ready anyway.
That is true. That is,
You know?
that is true. Last but not least, well, not last, but coming to my last piece that I want to get in here, the big fight. The papers have been signed. Spence and Bubba Crawford from Nebraska. Oh, that's going to be a fight. I know Lomachenko lost to Haney. I don't think Lomachenko's done because he's a master of disaster. I think he's not done. I think he still has some more in the gas tank. Haney's coming up. I think he's going to fight Shakur Stevenson. That should be a very interesting fight. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Tank. Will he fight before the end of the year? He may not. I think that fight he had with Garcia was such a big fight. He may not have to fight again. But it's going to be interesting because he's been talking about retirement, and he's pretty much beat up everybody.
I didn't know Holyfield had a son that fought.
Yeah, he's been kind of in and out or in the shadows, but he seems to be making his way. And yeah, he does have a son who does fight. He does, absolutely. So that Spence fight and Crawford fight, that may be the fight of the year. That could be a trilogy. That could be a trilogy. Bud is an incredible boxing savant, and Errol Spence is just iron-willed when it comes to boxing. He just breaks you down, and he just breaks you down. And then, last but not least, one of my favorite topics is I had a friend of mine talk to me or show me the cover of Sports Illustrated that had this kid they call Sauce, wide receiver for the Jets, and how excited my friend's a big Jet fan, and so he was like, "Look at my dude, Sauce is on the cover. Him and Aaron Rodgers, we're going to the Super Bowl." He's amped up. He's amped up, Joe. He is amped up. You thought Joe Willie had come back, you know?
That's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking.
I can't even. I didn't want to bust his bubble because they've been in the dungeon so long. But he said, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "Well, I'm looking at the cover. The kid's got a great name, he's got great talent. Too bad he doesn't have somebody around him to tell him that was probably the worst picture he could have taken with barbecue sauce on his hand and the caption, some silly caption." I'm like, did anyone tell him he's in the #1 media market in the world?
Yeah,
Did
really.
someone kind of pull him aside and say, you could launch your own barbecue sauce, or you could have partnered with a barbecue sauce company like Tubbs, right? You could have spun that so many ways. Being in New York,
no doubt,
you literally probably left $100 million on the table because you just didn't have the right people around you to tell you, wow, this is an opportunity. You got a great name, you're producing, it's all uphill. Now you have Aaron Rodgers. I mean, literally, what's that young man's name? He's one of my favorite Giants who does the salsa. Hector.
Hector. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, it escapes me. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Man, he must have made $50 million from the soup commercials and all the other stuff he did because he was a New York Giant in the #1 media market. He had the right people around him and was able to. He was producing on the field at a high level.
Yes, he was.
And walked away with the NFL money and marketing money. And so, you know me, Joe, I'm a big fan of this is why it's important. I always tell Alex, you need to know the history of your game. You need to know who went before you, what it was. You need to understand the business of the game, besides the X's and the O's. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Because when you don't, you're leaving money on the table. You're leaving opportunity on the table. You're leaving relationships on the table, and that's
mm,
what you don't want to do, because you just never know how your career is going to go, right?
yeah.
And so you got to strike when the iron is hot. So after I shared it with my friend, he was like, I'm gonna write a letter to the GM. That was terrible how they did that to Sauce." I said, "You need to, but you probably need to write to Sauce's people, because it just looked horrible. It would just look horrible, and just missed a great opportunity." So I'm gonna be
Yeah.
quiet right now. Now that you allowed me to get that all out of my all out of my system, because I'm excited to hear what you got from NASCAR Lim, my friend. The ball's
Well,
yours.
one thing is I got a bone to pick with NASCAR because
Okay.
it rained last weekend, and the way they handled it was horrible because they it rained Saturday and Sunday, and they held off telling us what the status of the race was going to be. The race was supposed to start at 6 o'clock that evening, and I actually called the track, and they said, well, the race is still on, and it's scheduled to start at 6, and so everybody is hanging on, and finally, a lot of people, including myself, went up to the track because
Uh-huh.
they said, well, we think we got a window where we think we can dry the track and start the race. So a lot of us went up to the track, and then 5 minutes to 8, they say, oh, okay, the race is postponed until Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
What?
Yeah. So, I mean, it turned out to be a better thing because the race started at 3 o'clock, which was earlier in the
Mm-hmm.
day.
Mm-hmm.
And there weren't as many people because a lot of people had to work that Monday.
Oh, wow.
So, we got there, and it went off without a hitch, and the
Okay.
race was exhilarating. It was
Wow.
exhilarating. It always is. But, you know, these guys, they're out there, and they're just jockeying and doing everything they can, you know.
Wow.
And and Ryan Blaney won the race. It's a it's
Okay.
a four it's a 600-mile race, which is 400 laps. It's a 1.5 mile tri oval track,
Mm.
so it's 400 laps.
Wow.
And I have to say, I was pulling for Mr. Wallace,
Mm-hmm.
and he finished fourth.
Oh, that's decent. That's more than
Yeah,
decent.
and his partner Tyler Reddick finished fifth. They finished fourth and fifth.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and so now Bubba, his name is William Darrell Wallace, and he was born in Mobile, Alabama, and he started as a development driver for Toyota's
Oh,
driver development program, and he drove part time for Joe Gibbs, his
oh, okay.
racing team. Yeah, so and then in the Xfinity series, which is kind of like what the Bush series used to be,
Mm-hmm.
and then he drove full time for Kyle Busch in the truck series, and then he drove for Roush, you know, and then he graduated to driving the famed number 43 for Richard
Wow.
Petty.
Didn't he drive for Jordan?
I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he drove for Petty full time for a while. Um, and he's the only African American driver that's full time in NASCAR's three national series. The Cup, the Xfinity, and the Truck Series, and is the
Mm.
only African American to win more than once in any of the which three series, which has made him one of the most successful African Americans in the history of NASCAR.
Wow.
So, and of course, after the George Floyd thing, he became very active in
Mm-hmm.
the Black Lives Matter movement,
Mm.
And his activism on racial justice led to NASCAR banning the display of the Confederate flags in their tracks.
Finally.
Yeah. So, and he races for the 2311 team, which
Okay.
is owned by Michael Jordan.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
He drives the number 23 car, and his partner drives the number 45 car. The both
Okay.
of Jordan's numbers. Now,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Now the
Yeah.
number 11 is Denny Hamlin, who's his like silent partner. It's because that was Denny Hamlin's number 11. So it's
Oh.
2311 Racing.
Okay. Okay. I got you. I feel you. I
Now,
ain't mad at you.
for this particular race, sometimes they do special paint schemes on the car.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did for Reddick's car is they painted it Tar Heel blue, and they had the Jordan's symbol on the door.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, it was really really cool. You know, and it was just really it was a fun race. It really was. And I applaud Michael Jordan because he I knew he was going to get into this at some point, and then he's finally into it full tilt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got two good drivers. You know, so
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
yeah, he's in it for the I think he's in it for the long haul. I mean, he's got the money,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you know,
I think
and
I heard he's planning to sell the Wizards
that wouldn't
or
surprise me.
or the Hornets. Sorry,
The Hornets, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Hornets.
That wouldn't surprise me, because I think he's getting into a lot of other things right now,
Mm-hmm.
and NASCAR it's a big thing because I don't know if I don't know how much it costs now, but it used to be cost $1 million to build one car.
Wow.
So it might be more than that now.
Oh, for sure.
So but that was my experience at NASCAR. My sister was with me with my nephew and my niece, and they
Mm-hmm.
just loved it. You
And the
know,
kids.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, they enjoyed it. And my
Nice.
nephew, he's a photographer, so he brought his camera and he was taking all these pictures that I'm dying to see. You
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
because he's the photographer for his school, and he actually gets paid for that.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, he does all the sports and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm dying to see those pictures that he took. You know.
Absolutely. What a great experience.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Did you
yeah.
see any people that look like you and me? That more people on that look like you?
Yes, yes. I have to say I did.
Okay.
I saw actually. I meant to mention it to my sister that I said I see a lot more people that look like us at this race today. You know,
Ah,
and there were no incidents or anything because I'm always leery of that.
okay.
You
We
know.
can go places without an incident, but okay, I got you.
Oh yeah, but yeah, and like I said, it was great. It was great to see. You know, and then we just it was an enjoyable experience
Have
for
a
all
good
of
time.
us.
How's the food?
Normally I don't eat the food there because what we do is we have it down to a science. Me and my ex son-in-law, we pack backpack coolers.
Oh, okay.
We bring our own food and our
Oh,
own
okay. That's
drinks
smart.
because you can do that. Yes, you can do that because the food is expensive as hell.
Oh, I'm
But
sure.
today,
$20, yeah, for a cup of soda.
yeah, but that particular day I decided to wing it. So I bit the bullet and I bought some of the food, but I didn't eat much and wasn't that bad. But you
Okay.
know, but yeah, we had a great time. We really did. You know,
That's awesome.
yeah, and I'm looking
That's awesome.
forward to next year. I,
Absolutely. Me too.
you gotta come, man. You gotta come, man.
Me too. Unbelievable, bro.
I
Unbelievable.
mean, yeah, my sister, she got a hotel right by the airport. So she was like, I think she said she was
Good.
20 minutes from the track.
Nice.
And
Nice.
we made a day of it, and the traffic
Nice.
I was surprised that the traffic getting out was
Isn't
nothing
bad?
because
Wow.
usually it's crazy the traffic, you
I
know.
could imagine. I
So,
could really imagine. What a
but yeah,
great experience, man! North
it is.
Carolina NASCAR. Did you get to get close to the pits at all?
No, no, but our
Okay,
seats are. I'll when I come back, I'll show you the pictures that I took because our
okay.
seats are right across from pit road.
Oh, okay.
They're like basically right out of turn 4 and across from pit road. So we see
Oh,
all the
that's sweet.
action. Yeah, we see all the
That's
action
sweet.
right there.
Now, is
You
that
know.
it for them? No more races? Or is
Oh
that
no,
it?
no, 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 they're not done.
Oh,
No,
okay.
they finish up. I think they finish the season. I want to say in October or November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they usually finish in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, this is no, they're not finished by a long shot. They got more to go.
More racing to go.
Oh yeah,
Man, you
yeah.
you've been like on a triple crown. Negro leagues, hockey, NASCAR. You've been really showing out. I gotta give it to you. You've been really showing out. You've been really
Yeah,
showing
well,
out with some good
these
stuff, man.
well, these are things that are dear to me, you know, and like you, I've been following Richard Petty since the '70s.
Yeah, man. I love the king.
Yeah, and actually, yesterday I took a trip to the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
You did.
Yeah, I
How
did.
was that?
Oh, it's an experience. It's really an experience. They give you like they have this theater inside, and I sat in the theater and they show a 12-minute film on the whole history of NASCAR. You know, from the moonshiners and how that started, you know, to how they uh they um they decided, well, you know what? Let's see who has the fastest moonshine car, you know?
Mercy.
So, and that's how it all started,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
And they
You can
said, yeah,
drink it
they
or put it in the gas tank.
well, they the way they portrayed it is that was the only way these guys could put food on the table for their
Table.
families is
That's
run
right.
and shine,
Yep.
you know, and they had to
That's
have a
right.
car that was faster than the cops
Yep.
because they said
Sure.
if you got caught, you were going to jail, plain and
Yep.
simple, you know. So I think it was Ronald Reagan who actually pardoned Junior Johnson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, because he had been convicted of I think run and shine, and he had a record, and I think Ronald Reagan was the one who pardoned him.
Mm-mm-mm.
You know, so
Run
because
and shine.
he was such a big contributor to the sport.
Mm.
You know, so
Wow.
but
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
Amazing. I mean, sports and history and politics and business, it's so intertwined. It's economics, people
yes,
trying to survive, people trying to eat. It's just an amazing story of capital and labor.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
capital and labor. Opportunity. I was watching something today. I grew up, watching, and I'm sure you did too, is watching the girls do double dutch,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
saw this thing today of these ladies who are 40. In order to be in this club, they have to be 40 and above
Mm.
doing double dutch. Bruh, these women are amazing.
I can imagine.
I'm going to talk about it next week.
All right.
I mean, they have one lady, 71 years old, who who put us to shame, Joe.
God bless her.
This woman is jumping rope, one leg, two legs, jumping rope, jumping in and out. I said, she's 71?
Mm.
Man,
God bless her.
God bless her. We always say, Smarterfan podcast, you never know what angle we coming. We got something for you. If it's biscuits, if it's gravy, whatever you want, some steak, some hot dogs, some NASCAR, some hockey, come here. Smarterfan podcast. See you next week.
Smarterfan.
All right.